Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahawah, by Hashem, Yahawashi, by Hashem, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. News in the gospel of our lifting up the standard of Yahawah, by Hashem, Yahawashi, wherever it may be. This is the Akim Mahalalia coming back with another lesson through the Spirit. It was for to be edifying. Titled, The Lord Will Avenge His Elect. Okay, the Lord will avenge his election. Okay, starting with the 144,000 through the 1/3 and even down to the 2/3 of Israel. Eventually, the Most High will restore the entire nation of Israel into glory and into power and into righteousness, man. Okay, as we preach the downfall of America, aka Babylon the Great, which is ran by the biblical Edomites, which is you so-called white people. Hey, your time of reign is at the end, man. Okay, because now you got the de-dollarization or the collapse of the U.S. dollar. As you pay attention into the economic forms and the world's currencies, the dollar is pretty much losing value by the second. Like gas jumped up from like $3.13 to like $3.39. Okay, and the fact that we're only in April and gas is already getting ready to go up should tell you that, hey, it's possible that this whole ordeal they're talking about in July, the Fed Now, or the launch of the Fed Now program, which is basically the digital dollar version of the U.S. dollar, okay, backed by CBDCs, which is central bank digital currencies. And with that being said, the CHIP, which is the RFID micro CHIP, followed by World War III. And before you know it, the deliverance of the hopeful elect. You know, so anyway, it's like I'm eating something. But this is the book of Luke 18, and I'm going to start at verse 7. It says, "And shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry night and day unto him, though he bear along with them?" Okay? Because when we look at our captivities, okay, since we went into captivity under the Syrians, the Babylonians, the Romans, the Greeks, the Egyptians, Persians, and the Medes. Every captivity, the Most High has delivered us from our enemies when we called upon his name. But in this particular captivity was rather a more significant one because the Lord literally took his name out of our mouths, like in Jeremiah, the 42nd chapter. It goes into how the Most High have taken his name out of the tents of Judah. Okay, basically he removed his name from us. So therefore, we couldn't get out of our condition. So therefore, we was forced to ride out our punishment, so to speak, because the Lord, he took the name from us. Any other time we get in hell and hot water, we call on the name of the Lord. The Lord raises up a savior in Israel, and then here comes the deliverance. You know, now, the only person that's going to deliver us from this is Yahawashi. Because each and every time we was delivered from our captivities, whether it be through Moses, Joshua, Caleb, okay, Mordecai, and those respective renowned men of old, the Maccabees, Jake always revolted more and more. Hence, Yahawashi has to come up and bring us into the new covenant, because for the simple fact, we can't make it without Yahawashi's sacrifice. Okay, so when you look up that word elect, because we need deliverance, man, we need salvation. We needed. These bodies are filthy. The minds are filthy, man. You know, we go off. This is a polluted world. I mean, to the point you got alphabet people walking around blatantly with rights over you, man. Like I was at a little work meeting last night, and, you know, one of the guys I work with, basically, you know, he had his boyfriend up there with him. And I was just like, man, this shit got to go. Blatantly promoting wickedness. This is why we need mercy, man. And that word goes into electos, which means picked out, chosen by the Most High, because we always teach that the elect will be saved, okay? Because this thing is all about the elect. It says to obtain salvation through Hamashiach. Christians are called chosen or elect of God. The Messiah is called elect, as appointed by the Most High to the most exalted office conceivable. Choice, select, the best of its kind or class, excellent, preeminent. applied to certain individual Christians, meaning even among the so-called Christians, which the Christians are actually the Israelites. Basically, there's an election of the Israelites, man. Okay, so that's why we say we are of the hopeful elect. Because when you go into the book of Revelation, the 144,000, that's the elect of the elect. Okay, because the entire nation of Israel is the chosen race, but you have the elect of the elect, okay, which is the 144 and the 1/3. Because there's going to be classifications of elect. You're going to have the 144, then you're going to have the 1/3, then you're going to have the rest of Israel. But even then, within that election, you still got a hierarchy of the 144, because you remember you got the 12, okay, which King David was actually of the 12, because if you know the history, King David was reincarnated into Peter, or the Apostle Peter, okay. Prior to that, Moses, you know, then you got Abraham, you got Moses, then you have King David, okay, then you also have Apostle Peter. Those were men that walked with Yahawashi, man, because, hey, didn't it tell you that Abraham was a friend of Yahawashi, or the Yahawashi? All right. So it says, and shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear along with them. And like I said earlier, man, Lord is long suffering, because throughout all the hell we're catching Yahawashi, he still have his arm stretched out. He still have his grace period. He's still calling the Israelites through his prophets to wake up and to repent and to escape this coming judgment, man. Okay, because America will be destroyed by fire, and that's in the scriptures. It says, and I tell you, he will avenge them speedily. Okay, and you got to understand the times of the heavens are different from our times here on planet Earth. Okay, like according to the Most High, it says 2 days with the Most High, or a day with the Most High, is as 1,000 years to men. So a day with the Lord is literally 1,000 years to us, because there's a difference of time in the different dimensions. You know, even like when you go on certain planets, like I was looking up, I think it was Kepler 2b or something like that, which is basically a doppelganger of the Earth. They have like 267 days a year, while we have roughly 365. Okay, so that's roughly 100 days lesser on another so-called planet Earth than our particular planet today. So that shows you in the different dimensions and the different realms, which realms this goes into worlds, or different worlds of galaxies, man. Okay, you call them parallel universes, whatever you want to call them, you know, different worlds, etc. But time operates different. Okay, in the spiritual world, time operates completely on a different time frame, because Yahawashi, when the Most High stated that he's of time himself, and that's what his name means, to exist. Okay, they call him the Ancient of Days, which makes sense. The Lord is not being bound by time, okay, because he controls the sands of time. And it reads here, it says, and that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth, man? Okay, because a lot of people are going to lose their faith due to the atrocities, due to the falling out of the truth, due to the hells that's coming on the planet Earth. Like sometimes, man, when you just think about it, Jake is in trouble, man. And if you really get in the spirit, you'll be mourning for your people. Like I was in Walmart today, man, picking up some Ziploc bags, man, and I asked Jake for help. And I was just kind of already in a, how can I say it? I was already in a heavy spirit, you know, just being in his flesh. And, you know, you think back on things, you know, you think back on nostalgia and shit and how you want the kingdom. I was already in kind of heavy spirit. It wasn't like a rut or like a pissed off feeling, but it was mainly like a tears of joy, kind of upset, but still, you know, just a positive feeling, you know, just thinking about how fucked up this world is. And I was just looking at Jake, man, and Jake just didn't know what was going on, and I asked him to help me. And I mean, he really couldn't, but I didn't get mad at him, because I'm just like, man, you know, Jake is in trouble, man. Jake just doing what the fuck they know how to do. You know, they just trying to make it day by day. And it hit me in the spirit, and I see why the prophets mourn for Israel, because we're really mourning for our people, man. You know, people, contrary to popular opinion, people think we hate our people, but we really don't. Okay, we hate the wickedness that they're doing and the condition, the mindset that they currently inhabit in Babylon, but we don't hate our people. We actually love our people, and this is the reason why we cuss their ass out week in and week out on the highways. But I was just mourning for them in my spirit, because you can feel the hurt, you know, because like I say, the prophets are the backbone of the nations. Even these women, man, you know, you feel it and you mourn, because it's like, damn, how much longer we got to deal with this? Like Jeremiah, he cried for Israel, man, because he cared about his people. But it's to the point, Jake wasn't, they was being rebellious. So, Jeremiah had to take it up and say, what, fuck these niggas, man. Let them be destroyed. Because Jacob did take you there, man. But overall, we are mourning for our people. We want the best for them, but hey, they don't want the best for themselves. So what can we do? Focus on the hopeful elect. But it says, I would tell you that he would avenge them speedily. But nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, should he find faith on the earth? Right. Because all the hell that's coming, okay, people getting ready to really lose their faith once this dollar collapse, because they put their money and their faith. Salaki, they put their faith and they put their residuals into a failing system because they have no way. People are all depressed. Like when I talk to my mom and shit, her mind is so stuck in the past because she don't know how to move forward. And I get it. Everybody in this society is sick mentally, and this is what it does to us. Like in my health class I'm taking at this college, man, and we're talking about how mental health is plaguing the Black, Hispanic, and Native American communities at astronomical levels. And even the whole world, even Esau is facing depression because of this society. It's so fast-paced, you don't have a time to catch yourself. You're constantly on the run. Life catches up. You have children. You're overwhelmed. And this is the way that the elites have set this fucking place up to totally run you amok, man. It's literally like a hamster on a pinwheel, and you're running on his wheel until you get fucking drop dead and you die from exhaustion. Kids are being brought up in just mannish ways, man. They're looking at the TV. They're becoming things that were not meant to be. We know that it's all the will of the Lord, man, but you still, you still mourn for it because this is just a fucked up place, man, and we got to get out of here. Like I said, my mom, she's so heavily on a path on what things was, and I get it, but that's a sign of us being sick and we need deliverance because we yearn for a time of peace and when things wasn't as hard. And that's what the American people were, mainly the millennials. They're looking for that old 90s vibe, 80s, 90s type comfort again because there was less things to worry about then, though the world was always a fucked up place. But even then, when you read in Psalms 135, the Israelites had nostalgia because when we were taken from our land, when the Babylonians carried us captive, and then it says that they required of us a song, and we sat by the river, and we pretty much wept for the remembrance of Jerusalem. It's roughly paraphrasing it, but basically David is going into how we remember Jerusalem and how we wept, man, because it was a form of nostalgia. It was familiar. It took us back to a place of happy and comfort because that was our land. And a lot of times people get that in childhood because of things they've experienced, whether it's bitter or sweet. And this is the reason why we need deliverance out of here, because in the kingdom is going to be full of just righteous vibes, man. Nostalgia is going to be every single day in the kingdom because no one day is going to be alike. Like it tells us, I believe it's in Psalms, if I'm not mistaken, or Proverbs. I think it's in Psalms. It tells us that one day in the Lord's course is better than 1,000. So 1,000 of our best days ain't going to be able to compare to the kingdom. That's how great it's going to be. I can't wait. But anyway, it says, I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, should he find faith on the earth, right? All right. Isaiah 45, and I'm going to start at 4. It says, for Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, my elect. Okay, I have even called thee by thy name, and I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. Okay, Isaiah 65 and 9. It says, I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Judah, an inheritance of my mountains, and my elect shall inherit it, and my servants shall dwell there. Because the ultimate mercies of Yahawah, Yahawashi, to give us our land back, to give us our heritage. And it says, and I will bring forth the seed out of Jacob and out of Judah, an inheritance of my mountains, and my elect shall inherit it, and my servants shall dwell there. And Sharon should be a fold of flocks, in the valley of Achor, a place for the herds to lie down in, for my people that have sought me, and who's seeking the Lord now, the election. All right. But ye that forsake the Lord, that forget my holy mount, prepare a table for that troop, that furnish the drink offering unto that number. Okay, therefore I will number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer, and when I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose wherein I delighted not, which is for the 2/3 of our people. Because the 2/3 of you have to be straight up put down in order to obtain your mercy. Okay, think of it as a mercy type thing. The Lord is going to purge you one way or the other. Jake is going to be made righteous, whether it's through fire, physically, or through the spiritual fire, which the Lord's will, we in the spiritual fire, going through hell and catching hell. and being faithful and committed into this thing unto death. Okay. Uh, yep. Revelation 11, and I'm gonna start at verses 4. It says, "But what saying to the answer of the Most High to him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men who have not bowed to the knee of the image of Baal. Even so, then, at this present time, there is also a remnant according to the election of grace." Okay, the men that's gonna get it in this time, the men that's gonna do right by the Lord, not just speaking or saying they're doing right, but actually living right by Yahawah, Yahawashi. It says, "And if by grace, then it is not more of works, but otherwise grace is no more grace. But if it be of works, then there is no more grace, otherwise work is no more work. But what then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it." Through how? The mercies and tender mercies of Yahawah, Yahawashi. And the rest were blinded, man. Okay? So, look up mercies, the mercies of Yahawah, Yahawashi. Yep. Psalms 10, let me see. Let me start at Psalms 103, and I'm going to start at verses 2. It says, "Bless, O Yahawah, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits, who forgiveth all thy iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases, who redeemeth thy life from destruction, who crowneth thee with love, kindness, and tender mercies," man. Okay, and that's the point. Mercy. We need mercy. And it's a mercy to have this truth, man. He obtained favor with us. It says, "Who satisfied my mouth with good things, so that thy youth is renewed like the eagles." Okay, so that's the point I want to make. Verse 6, "The Lord executed righteousness and judgment for all that are oppressed. He made known. It says he made known his ways unto Moses and his acts unto the children of Israel." And what does that say, other nations? It don't. And it says, "And the Lord is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and plenteous in mercy." And that's why I stated that though he bear long with them. Okay, because it says he's slow to anger. He will not always chide, neither will he keep his anger forever. And he have not dealt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities, man. So, hey, our iniquities were less punished than deserved. So, hey, that's mercy in itself. As for the heaven is high above the earth, so great his mercy towards them that fear him. And as far as the east is from the west, so far he hath removed our transgressions for us. Like as a father pitieth his children, so the Lord pitieth them that fear him, man. Okay? So, hey, man, beautiful. "For he know that our frame, he remembered that we are dust." The Lord know we're folly. He knows. "And as for man, his days are as grass, as a flower of the field, so he flourisheth. And for the wind passeth over it, it is gone, and the place thereof shall know it no more. But the mercy of Yahawah is from everlasting to everlasting upon them that fear him, and his righteousness unto the children's children, to such as keep his covenant, and to those that remember his commandments to do them. And the Lord hath prepared his throne in the heavens, and his kingdom ruleth over all." Okay? So with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahawah, Ba'ashim Yahawashi. And with that, Shalom and Abba.